Welcome back, welcome back. It's your boy here with another video on this chilly Sunday afternoon. We're sitting back today, doing some things online, watching some stuff, looking at some college basketball when I got into Baltimore Ravens spaces on Twitter. And they were doing a mock draft. What they think that we would do essentially coming up. After a while I fell asleep. But I woke up and I heard them speaking about if they felt like our team was a Super Bowl contending team. And it had me thinking, are we? With the way our roster's constructed right now, I'm going to have to go with hell no. Right now, no, definitely not. I know we still have the draft, and some other free agent moves can be made, but right now we are not a Super Bowl contending team. And it takes me back to last year, 8-3, before the injuries really took hold with the starting quarterback, aside from all the injuries we had elsewhere. And do I think that if we were at full strength throughout the whole year, would we have been a Super Bowl contending team? No, not at all. Would we have made the playoffs? Most definitely. If we had everybody back, we probably would have made the playoffs. Won a game? Maybe. Got to the AFC Championship? Doubt it. But we'd have made the playoffs. And still we weren't a Super Bowl contender. We just don't have the makeup of that quality of a team. Like, yes, we have the elite quarterback. We have the elite left tackle. Not playing. We have some good running backs, but we all know the run game is predicated on what Lamar does. And when Lamar's not in there, it doesn't work. I.e. Greg Roman's system doesn't work. We have two decent cornerbacks. Marlon Humphrey, I don't know. You know, people keep saying he had a bad year last year. But I guess people forgot the year before that, he wasn't doing that well. Like, he was not an all-pro. And let's not forget in 2019, because I'll never forget this. He let a fourth-string wide receiver catch a 44-yard touchdown on him in the playoffs. And I'm not even mad that he gave up the touchdown. I'm mad at the fact that he was an all-pro, Pro Bowler, and that dude dusted him. Like, he had him by a couple feet. Like, it wasn't just I just blew past him, got it, be in. Like, he left him in the dust. And that's when I knew Marlon might not be what we thought he was. So, linebackers, we have none. Let's be honest. We have no linebackers. Patrick Queen, even though y'all want to hype him up saying if we sign this person, if we sign that person, he's going to be much better. He's not. He's a first-round pick that didn't make it. He's not a middle linebacker. Now you're trying to make him something else. Malik Harrison didn't work out. Defensive line, Derek Wolf, collecting money, sitting at home. We don't have a roster, even when healthy, that's constructed to be a threat to win a Super Bowl. Do we have a team good enough to make the playoffs? Years past, yes. But seeing what the AFC has done this past offseason, I'm at to go with no. Like, what have we done? And people keep saying, oh, be patient, be patient. EDC has something up his sleeve. Be patient for what? Because this is the same formula that we've had in years past. We may make one splashy signing, but then we wait. Like, we need a center. J.C. Treader is out there. Fuck are we waiting on? Like, what are we waiting on? But of course, we're going to do what we do as we did with the Zadarius. We're going to try to wait them out for a cheaper price. And we've already seen how's that cheaper price working for us. It's not. It's not translating into playoff success. So, in my opinion, no, we are nowhere close to being contenders for a Super Bowl because even in our 2019 season of 14-2, we didn't make it to the conference championship, and that was with that roster. And don't get me wrong, coaching plays a big role in all of this because I've seen other teams overcome lack of talent, injuries, just a lot of things, and they've overcome it to win. We don't do that here. We don't overcome anything. If we don't have the talent, we don't win. Our coaches cannot scheme up anything that puts this team in a position to be better off than what we are. John Harbaugh, this Hall of Fame top 10 coach that y'all want to keep calling him, he keeps hiring the same dudes to run the same offenses. So yes, even if we get rid of Greg Roman, he's going to bring in somebody that's going to run a similar scheme. Like, what difference is it going to make? You know, different name, same face. Like, come on. So, we're nowhere closer to being a Super Bowl contender. Like, we have to depend on Lamar being Superman week in and week out and willing us to victory. That doesn't work in the playoffs, as we've seen. Like, how many times do we have to go through the same thing before we say, you know what? We are a pretty good team. We are a consistent team. And we are consistently bad in the playoffs. So, you know, say what you want. We're not constructed to win. Look at Matt Stafford. He goes from Detroit to LA. And not saying Matt Stafford is the best, because it's been plenty of times throughout the playoff run, Matt Stafford almost threw that game away being Matt Stafford. He was doing Matt Stafford type things and almost lost them the game. But then again, he also made plays to help them win. But when you take him and put him in a situation where you surround him with talent and you surround him with an offensive-minded coach that brings out the best in him, look at the results that you get. They got a Super Bowl. Nobody would have told me the beginning of this year they believed Matt Stafford was going to win a Super Bowl. Nobody in their right mind would have been like, yeah, he's going to get it done. But you put him in the right situation, you surround him with the right players. We refuse to do that. We refuse to put Lamar in a position to win. We do not highlight his strengths. We do not put people around him that makes him better. And the same thing happened with Flacco. I keep saying this. Like, they didn't give, after Anquan and them left, they gave Flacco nothing. And then try to say his contract handicapped the team. No, this coaching handicapped the team. This front office handicapped the team, just like they are now. We are always up against the cap. But who are we paying? Who are we paying? Like Patrick McCarry? $7.1 million for what? Like, that's starter money for a backup offensive tackle. Is he serviceable? Can he play multiple positions? Yes, but that's not a starter. And he doesn't deserve starter money. And that's why we don't have money to give to big-time free agents, even though that's not our philosophy anyway. Like, it's like we don't want to win. So, Twitter Spaces, no, we are not in contention for a Super Bowl. I don't give a damn who comes back healthy. I know this is going to have Ravensflock up in arms, but this upcoming season, we may potentially be more of playoff pretenders than we are Super Bowl contenders. Because if we don't make any more moves and everything is predicated on Eric DeCosta and his draft, I already call it a fail. He hasn't proven to me in the last 3 years that he can draft anybody. He's drafted a couple good players, but nobody that's made a major impact on this team. Most of his draft picks aren't even here anymore. So you're telling me that getting healthy and drafting some decent players, possibly, is going to push us over the top. We have to realize, listen, the AFC now is loaded. It's loaded. And all of these teams have just gotten exponentially better. You still have your Buffalo Bills, your Kansas City Chiefs, and your Cincinnati Bengals now. They are the upper echelon of this conference, and we've done nothing to catch them. Nothing at all. I mean, let's see. You have the Indianapolis Colts. They just got Matt Ryan. He may not be the greatest anymore, but he's still serviceable. And they have a good offensive line, Jonathan Taylor, and a great defense. Tennessee Titans. Depending upon what they do with Tannehill, if he gets better, they get another quarterback in there. They were the number one seed in the AFC, and they may possibly only get better. I mean, look, the Miami Dolphins. Once upon a time, recently, we could just count them as a non-playoff contender, but they were right at the cusp. They beat us, like they showed other teams how to beat us with that cover zero, which our coaches never figured out how to get over. And they added Tyreek Hill and Armstead from New Orleans. So they're building up an offense to go with the defense that they've already had, and they're putting themselves in playoff contention. So that's another team that we have to watch out for. Not to mention the AFC West. The AFC West. Now Tyreek is gone, but we still have Kansas City, and Kansas City will always be dangerous because they have Pat Mahomes. And I'm sure that they're going to draft or bring in somebody that's going to kind of fill the void or spread it out some, but they're still dangerous. You have the Las Vegas Raiders. They just traded for Devontae Adams. Well, they just signed Devontae Adams. They got Chandler for the defense. They made the playoffs last year, so we already know what they can do, and they're just getting better. You have the San Diego Chargers with Justin Herbert. They went out and got Khalil Mack. So the defense is getting better. They pairing him with Joey Bosa. The offense has another year to click. I mean, it's about ascension. It's about getting better and building on what you have every year. And these other teams are doing it. And not to mention the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos traded for Russell Wilson. They already had 3, maybe 4 receivers if KJ Hamler can get himself together that can beat you. And you bringing in a top-notch quarterback to go along with a top-5 defense. Playoff contention. There are only so many spots to go around. And how are we going to make it if we're not getting better? When you have good teams trying to become great and bad teams trying to get better. We're status quo. We're that straight line. It's like, hey, we keep it straight, steady and simple, and things should turn out okay. And they're not. They're not. Other teams are adding stars. We're about adding depth. But if you have depth and no players, what difference is it going to make? If you got a backup backing up a backup, how is that winning football? How is that winning football? So, in my opinion, Super Bowl contenders, nah. We may possibly miss the playoffs altogether. Whether you want to hear it or not, it's a strong possibility depending upon what we do. And from the looks of it, we ain't doing enough. Until next time, y'all.